Alright guys, so I built a 40-person marketing agency and served more than 400 clients in 5 years. Before AI made any of this possible. And back in the days, getting to that scale used to take 5 years minimum. You needed a full team and some sort of capital that most Indian freelancers will never have access to. But I have good news for you. Today, with AI, you can now compress that entire journey into 60 days. And here's what nobody is saying out loud. Right now, less than 5% of Indian freelancers and agency owners have built a system like this. And that gap is your advantage. In 18 months, it won't be anymore. All the guys you are competing with, they will all figure it out. And as always, when everyone has the same workflow and the same systems, this will stop being an edge and it will become the baseline. So let's be honest, you have a couple of months to build your own AI agency before that happens. But guys, I want to be clear about who this video is for. It's not for the guy who saves this video and goes back to refreshing Upwork. This video is for the guy who is done being the cheapest option. And this video is for you if you are ready to go ahead and build something that hits $10,000 a month in less than 60 days. Before I get into it, if you don't know me yet, my name is Ved. I'm the founder of Digital Brothers, one of the largest marketing agency in the French market. Over the past 5 years, we have generated 75 million euros for our clients. We had more than 400 clients in 42 different niche. And guess what? I have the same background as you. Same starting point, and it took me years to figure out what I'm about to show you today. And again, you can compress this time frame thanks to AI. Alright, let's get into it. So guys, before I get into the tactics, I want to share something that you really need to understand. There is something I call the freelancer trap. The reason why most people are stuck, and the reason why I was stuck too, is because when you actually work online, when you get a client, the clients are so rare to find that you accept any price point. And the thing is, it pays your bills. So you're still somehow grateful for it because you can still work online and you are like, yeah, it's better than working in a 9 to 5. I should be grateful. I'm able to provide for myself. But believe me, it's a never-ending cycle. You refresh Upwork and Fiverr and wait for a job. You apply for it. You are competing on price with thousands of other freelancers. You're literally taking any kind of work. Every single project is different. You believe it's experience, but the truth is you have to start from scratch every single time. And so it's like starting a new business over and over again. And I want you to understand one thing. If your only added value is being cheap and being able to provide a skill, you will just get replaced by AI. So in order to avoid that, I want you to focus on building a system, something that can work for you, something that you have leverage on. I want you to embrace the agency mindset. Now, understand one thing. When you have an agency, you're actually still doing the same work you're doing on a daily basis. But instead of doing it yourself, you're now focusing on creating a system around your delivery. At the end of the day, if you're a freelancer right now, maybe you're doing video editing, maybe you're doing content creation, media buying, funnel building, whatever it is, I want you to understand that you will be providing the same skill set to the marketplace when you will build an agency. So there is nothing different. The only thing you have to understand is that instead of being stuck yourself, running after clients, chasing clients, doing the work yourself, your goal will be to create a system with some SOPs, team members, and AI so that you can start working on your business and not in your business. I want you to get in a mindset where your role is to document everything you are doing. Like, just imagine you have to train someone from scratch. You want to document how you are getting clients, how you are signing them, how you are sending the invoice, how you are onboarding them, how you are getting them the result they paid for, how you are asking for referrals and testimonials. All these things should be documented. Once you have this, it's going to be super easy to just leverage AI. You can use Claude, for instance. So I want you to focus on creating systems, creating SOPs. And once you have this, the question you should ask yourself is, what am I doing on a daily basis? You just run through your calendar and what you are doing on a day-to-day basis. And then you start outsourcing this stuff. You can delegate to AI or you can hire VA, whatever it is. When you want to get out from the freelancing trap, you need to build leverage. So first, you create some SOPs, you document everything. Second, you're going to use AI to build leverage. And third, you are going to hire VA to help you with tiny tasks and handling clients. Once it's done, the goal of your VA is to make your life easier. If you have the right SOPs, a smart VA can handle your clients, handle all your invoicing, all your admin, set up meetings for you, reach out to clients for you, send pitch decks for you, send offers for you. When I was at this stage, my VA was literally my right hand. So this is the first position you need to hire. And then obviously the more clients you deliver, the more leverage you will need. Second position to hire will be someone that can help you with fulfillment. Then, now that you have payroll, you need to make sure you are getting money every single month. That's where you want to focus on sales yourself and hire someone for your marketing, someone running ads for you, maybe reaching out to customers for you, helping you with content and so on. And then once you have enough reps in sales, you just want to hire your first salesperson. That's it. That's exactly how I grew to 40 plus people in my agency. And so with this, I want you to understand the principle behind what an agency is. I want you to understand that the freelancer sells time, while the agency owner sells an outcome. When you have an agency, you stop being the one who is actually doing the work. You become the one that makes sure that the work is going on. By the way, guys, before I get into the next section, if you want to learn more about this, I have a free school community. Inside, you'll have a 10-hour masterclass where I'm basically teaching you everything I use myself to build my marketing agency and hit more than 7 figures a year. Inside, you're going to find all the resources, all the templates, all the courses you need to go from where you are today to making $10,000 a month in less than 60 days. And to show you some proof, inside the community, we have more than 700 members. And you have people like Jatin, an Indian freelancer who was stuck on short-term gigs. He was getting underpaid. He was scared to lose clients. He just followed the free masterclass, and within weeks, he landed his first $1,000 a month client, one client. And the guy made more money from one client that he was doing from Upwork. But you also have Vikram. This guy was freelancing for years. He never went high ticket. He was basically charging $5 an hour on Upwork. He started to use our outreach techniques, and within 2 months, he signed his first client, $1,500 a month, with only 50 cold emails he sent. And you also have Karam, who was more advanced. He had a Shopify agency. He was doing everything through Upwork and Fiverr. His competition was insane, and clearly he was getting underpaid. He had clients from Europe and US coming through Upwork, but they were not coming to him for the right reasons. They were coming only because he was cheap. He only applied one strategy from the outreach module. He started reaching out to people on LinkedIn, and he made more money from one client that he did from 1 month of work from Upwork. Alright, now that you understand why it's important to think like an agency owner instead of thinking like a freelancer, there is one thing you need to understand. When you have an agency, instead of doing everything for everyone, you need to productize your service. You need to create what I call a linear offer. See guys, it's pretty simple. You can either be like a generalist agency and you can do like any type of service for any type of clients, but that's actually the best way to stay broke. So most of the freelancers think that the more broad you are, the more customers you will get, but that's not true. It might be true when you have a lot of cash flow and you really want to dominate the game, but when you are starting out, you really want to focus on one niche, which means one industry you want to work with. And to pick your industry, it's pretty simple. You want to go over your portfolio, see the work you have done previously. You already have something to show, so you want to use this. Or maybe you have a passion or an interest in a specific industry, or maybe you have some relatives working in a specific industry like restaurants, hotels, whatever. My point is, you need to focus on one niche. And don't get me wrong, you can switch your niche at any time. But my point is, you want to work on one solution. You want to package your service. You want to productize it. So let's say you're a website design agency, you are building websites, and let's say you want to go for the insurance industry. Instead of just selling websites, you want to sell them a lead machine, a website designed so their end customers can ask for quotations and they can get more leads. It's actually the same thing in terms of work, but the way I just package it makes a huge difference in how you're going to position yourself and how the customer is going to perceive you. Plus, when you work with one type of client and you only deliver one service, it's the same process everywhere. Think about it. When you go to McDonald's, they only have one way to make their hamburger, and that's kind of like the same thing. You want one way to deliver your product. That's how you'll get more leverage, your team will do less mistakes, and at the end of the day, you will get more results for your clients. Also, the good thing when you work with only one specific type of customer is that your marketing gets more specific, and whenever you get a testimonial, it gets more specific as well. Just compare, let's say I'm an insurance broker. I can go to agency A that does everything for any type of customer. Maybe they have some offices, they have a lot of leverage, a lot of experience, but at the end of the day, they're just selling me a website. Or I can go to agency B, which is more boutique, which is really specialized on my industry, that understand my needs, they talk my language, they're using my words. Plus, I see some specific testimonials about insurance brokers. Who do you think I'm gonna pick? And last but not least, having a productized service will put you apart from the crowd, which means that you also have less competition. And by the way, guys, I'll just tell you a quick story. I was exactly in your shoes. When I started, I was doing everything. I was building websites, creating logos, running ads, doing some SEO, and I thought that that was my added value. I was thinking that it would make me more valuable to the marketplace. But what it actually did is that it destroyed me from the inside. Every project was different. Every customer was different. Every mistake was a new one I never did before. At the end of the day, my team was confused, my clients were confused, and we were literally running in 10 directions instead of growing on one of them. And so the day I decided to cut everything, to focus on one offer, one niche, one way to get results for my clients, everything changed. Fewer mistakes, better results, and guess what? Clients started to refer us as well. And most importantly, we were able to charge more because we were not generalist anymore. We were perceived as being the specialist within our niche. And that's the point. So how do you build this type of of offer. See, I could give you my version, but instead, I went and asked Alex Hormozi directly for you. So I want you to go through your portfolio and your past experience and understand where you have leverage, where you have a competitive edge, which industry do you understand the most. Once you pick one niche, I want you to go on Google or LinkedIn, and I want you to find a list of 100 dream customers you can work with. If you can find them easily without any tool, then it means that you have a market. It means that it's going to be easy for you to find leads. If you can't find them, then I would just recommend you to switch to another niche. And here's what I want you to take away from this chapter. A surgeon who does one operation, he does it perfectly every single time, charges more than a doctor that does everything. And you want to be like the surgeon, not the GP. By the way, guys, quick pause. If you want to go deeper into offer creation and how you can actually create a valuable offer that your customer wants, just join my free school community. You have an 8-hour masterclass, and inside the offer chapter, you will find an AI tool that has been trained on 400 plus data points that will literally build your offer for you. So come on, take 30 seconds, go grab it, and then just come back here. All right, now that you understood why it's important to build an agency instead of being a freelancer, now that you understand why it's important to package an offer and to productize it, and now that you know how to find clients, I'm gonna tell you how you can sign your first client and start collecting cash. So guys, when I first got started, I had no money in my bank account. I only had my computer and plenty of time on my hand. So obviously you have multiple ways to get customers. You could run ads, you could create some content, or you could do some outreach. For ads require money, so unless you have $50 a day to invest, I would not recommend it. Creating content is good. It's good to build trust and good to build authority, but it's not the best way to get started, because first you want to see if your customers really want your solution. And then this leaves us with outreach, which is, in my opinion, the best way to get started. And that's exactly how I went from 0 to 45K a month when I started my agency. And then when I was hitting a ceiling, I started running ads, and then I started creating some content. So let's talk about outreach. First of all, you have multiple platforms you can use. You have LinkedIn, email, Instagram, and you also have plenty of tools online that will show you exactly how to find leads. To give you some of them, you have Apollo, you have G7 Lead Finder. If you guys are interested into this, just drop a comment below and I'll be more than happy to record a video on how I find leads. But here I want you to understand the core principles, the strategies you need to use to get in front of your customers, grab their interest, and get them on a call. So guys, reaching out to a customer means that you're going to send him an email or a private message to get his interest. Now, most of the people I see using these strategies are doing it all wrong. They're sending super long text message without any context, not providing any value. Like honestly, I don't have a big following, and I'm still getting like 20 to 30 messages like that a week. I don't even open them. What you want to do instead of just sending a random copy and paste message to your ideal customer, instead of telling them what you could do for them, you want to show them what you can do, which is way different. Let me give you an example. Let's say, for instance, I build websites for insurance brokers. Instead of sending them a text message telling them that their website has some problems and I could fix them, instead of sending them a Loom auditing the website, what I want you to do is I want you to create a revamped version of their website, and you could do this within minutes with Claude Code. Super easy. So you take their actual website, you run it through Claude, and you get an output which is a new version of their website. Just send them with a message. For instance, hey John, hope you're doing well. I went through your website and I noticed that you are losing a lot of leads and volume because you don't have any lead form on your page. I also went through some of your competitors, like competitor A, B, and C, and I saw that they were getting more traffic and more volume because they had a lead form. So I spent a couple of hours building you a sample version of what your website will look like if you wanted to get it customer friendly and optimized. Here's the link. Let me know what you think. And that's it. Instead of going for thousands of messages daily, you want to tiny pick the customers you want to work with and just send the type of message I told you. Now, let's say I'm sending this message on Instagram, I don't get any answer. In this case, I'm going to follow up 7 to 8 times within 3 days. And I'm also going to hit them on their email address, on LinkedIn, everywhere on their socials until they see my message. That's the strategy. Your goal is to get them on a call. Instead of trying to close them, you want to give them a free trial, and then you schedule a second call 5 days later where you are going to close them. That's exactly what I've been doing, and that's exactly what people inside my community are doing as well. Alright, so now you know exactly how to find and sign customers. Now you have to serve your customers, and here's where it gets tricky. It's easy to get customers, and honestly, if you just want to make money, you just need to rinse and repeat the 4 steps I just showed you. But if your fulfillment is not nailed down, you are going to collapse. And that's why this part is the most important. See, as agency owners, we are providing a service, and you want to make sure that whenever you scale, quality of the service you're offering stays the same. And what I found to be the best way to do so was to do everything myself. for 3 clients, from how I'm finding the leads to how I'm getting them results, how I'm getting a testimonial, and do this 3 times and record everything. You can use Loom, you can use any type of screen recorder. And here's the crazy part. Back in the days, there was no AI. So I was just writing myself every single step, every single SOP, which was a real pain in the ass. Nowadays, you can just take your videos, put them in any tool like TurboScribe, take the transcripts, give it to Claude or ChatGPT, and it will create you a step-by-step process. And that's what you want. You want to document how you're getting customers and how you're getting them results. Nowadays, in my agency, we're all using Claude. We have Claude projects on Claude Cowork, where we have all our SOPs, how we write ads for our clients, how we build landing pages, how we run their ads, and we just run the client through Claude. That's it. You could also get this to the next level and use tools as OpenClaw or even Hermes agents to just automate the workflow for you. And one of the most important aspects to keep your customers satisfied is obviously communication. So before, we had crazy SOPs about how to handle clients. I was telling every team member you need to answer the client within 30 minutes. Now we just have AI chatbots in every single Slack channel we have with our clients. They know it's a bot, we are not lying, but our chatbot will answer within minutes. Most of the time it doesn't require any follow-up from our end. And then our customer success managers connects only once a day on Slack, so they can focus more on what's happening in terms of workload for the client. So guys, I want you to understand something. AI is coming after you if you're still a freelancer. But if you're an agency owner, you are going to leverage AI. AI will be on your side. See, if you are being honest, AI can do 80% of what people are paying you as a freelancer. So if your only added value to this market is your skill set, I'm sorry to say that, but you're going to collapse. Alright guys, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to tell me what you think in comments. And again, when we hit 5,000 subscribers, I'm doing a live draw. One subscriber will win a full one-on-one coaching session with me, plus the latest MacBook Air. So hit subscribe, hit the bell button, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.